this Esper control deck. It is very similar to the Matthew Folks slash Guillaume Maddington, I think that's his name. Like their builds, just a few minor changes, nothing very different. We didn't love the deck last time we played it, but I do think the format shifted a little bit more towards red decks right now, and a little bit more towards green decks right now, which is where I think Gear Hulks plus removal spells will excel. Also, we have the added benefit of having an additional sideboard guide. So now we've read Matthew Folks' sideboard guide and Brad Nelson's sideboard guide, and hopefully we'll be able to get there with it. But yeah. Well then, I did play this deck at Friday Night Magic this week. I liked it pretty good. Felt it was where I want it to be in the format at this exact second. I mean, obviously, where you want to be in a format's relative and can change from week to week based on the meta, what you're getting paired versus stuff like that. The league I played earlier today, we got paired versus 3 mono red, 1 Esper control, and 1 of the Craig Westcott style green white mid range decks. And this is just the type of deck that I feel like I want to play versus all of those decks with, which is why we're giving it a try. So we're paired versus yet another red deck, throwing Burn at my face already, which is a bad sign for me, especially since our hand is incredibly medium. Probably going to actually preserve my 1 point of damage here. But I think I'm going to need every point of damage I can get when we only have 1 spell in our hand. Don't know if I should be looking to cycle both of these lands, but it feels to me like it's okay to, for the simple fact that we'll probably draw our land by the time we need it. That's a good one. Hopefully his 4-drop's not super powerful. If it is, we'll probably have to actually cycle looking for a scatter. But if it's just something like Goblin Chain Whirler, we might not have to. I'm just going to put both of these on the bottom for now. Just feel like we can do better in general. Kind of want 1 more blue source, but I believe it's fine not to have it. Just kind of don't want to get wrecked by Hazoret. That's what I'm really worried about here. I guess if he has Hazoret, he'll kill this, so it's fine. There's some chance we draw an Essence Scatter. Actually, I thought about getting rid of that, but the fact that we get to draw 2 cards because we get to untap and cycle one of our things away is what put me over the top on the Teferi play. I felt like we could take 1 hit from a Hazoret. That's a good one. Three Vraska's Contempts versus Mono Red Burns. Pretty good too. Something in my eye. You have to wait a moment. I definitely want to gain my 2 points of life here. I guess we're just going to go ahead and smash this one, and they're going to get their card. And hopefully we'll draw something better, like a Fatal Push or something to throw at that one. Looks like we should have just took our 2 points of damage. That one doesn't do anything here, so that's good for us. Still, hopefully we can hit a Fatal Push and we'll have mana for it all. We did not. But the Torrential Gear Hulk is just lovely in this spot. So hopefully no additional Flame of Keld. More than I hoped to have taken there in that spot, but it's okay. Go ahead and pop this over, because we know we're going to cast this turn. Another Flame of Keld, and this time we do not have what we want. We're giving 3 more cards here. I just don't know if we can beat all that. Maybe it's worth it just to give him 2 cards. Yeah, I think I'm just going to give him 2 cards. So if they have a shock here, he actually gets to kill my Torrential Gear Hulk, but that's 4 damage I don't take in 2 turns. I'm not upset if that happens. Do kind of want to keep the Gear Hulk though to start pressuring his life total. Feels kind of important in this spot. We're going to keep both of those because we can tuck the Flame of Keld and stop him from drawing 2 cards. And we can proceed to our 4-turn clock now. Even if he has Hazoret, the Hazoret itself only puts us to 7, and the Vraska's Contempt puts us back to 9, so we'd have a little insurance. We don't care about the Teferi at all. Hey Duretti, what is up my friend? Hope everything is going well for you. Actually, just going to go ahead and use the Fatal Push on this. I don't want him to block. And I still want to Contempt in case he's playing a build that happens to have Hazoret, which is unlikely. Alright, so we know Flame of Keld is his next draw, which means he dies. We don't even have to show him more cards, so I guess I shouldn't. 3 glimmers, not bad. Alright, so they're done. Yeah, so we're using the Brad Nelson sideboard guide today, And the Brad Nelson Cyborg Guide's clearly only going to have the more tier decks on it. And so he's not going to have mono red at all. However, they are going to have... shoot, what am I trying to say? Are going to have... I don't even know. Kind of want this card. I don't know if it's good enough just to kill Flame of Keld. Kind of want this card as well, but I don't know 100% that he's playing gods. If I knew 100% they were playing gods, I would use this. I'm not 100% sure that they are. Hedge and just play one of each. That seems bad. We know they're playing Flame of Keld, though. Might even be worth it to have both of those if they're playing Flame of Keld. I don't think I like disallows too much in this match. What format did you play at your local paper tournament? This hand seems reasonable enough to keep, but it's pretty bad on the draw. But they're mulliganing. Guess I'll play that. I do have 2 double blue spells already. Modern Affinity. Well, 4 years. Yeah, you are going to be very proficient at that deck, then. So we're in a pretty good spot here. We have counter spells for spells. Haha. Always liked Affinity. Thought it was a fun deck. We could have probably shaved a Glimmer in this match, but... Is it bad that I want to counterspell that? I think that card's good enough to counterspell when we don't have a removal in our hand. So they got a better one out of the deal. Nice. Hope you guys do well. Fine, you can cast it again. At this point, I'm just stalling. That card's kind of cool. It's a nice afterthought in that deck. Yeah, no, I'm a fan of it. Really? If they're throwing that shock at me, does that mean they have Hazoret too? They just have Flame of the Keld. Alright, I guess. Might have to disallow its trigger. Whatever. But we don't want... kind of want this one, I guess. I definitely don't want this one. I guess I'm going to disallow its trigger. That beta draft was insane. It makes me want to go to Gen Con just for it. Like, I really, really just want to go to Gen Con now. No cards for you, friendo. I really like this combo. Pretty happy killing this one. Yeah, it is definitely awesome. Can't really say anything bad about it. Maybe I shouldn't have disallowed that. Maybe I should have just forsaken it. Because I'm just going to forsake it now anyway. So it seems like I kind of wasted my time if I didn't. Actually, I'm going to attack too. This attack's pretty loose, I think. I was kind of hoping he would block, but I guess there's just no way he's going to block. But how bad is this if they have like a hazard or something now? Oh, I guess I need to actually let him block. Or I need to let him actually attack with that. Richard Garfield being in the booth would have been sweet. For some reason, I feel like that man has better things to do, though. Is he still attacking? He is not attacking. Yeah, well, if he's not attacking, we're going to make him spend our mana. I did not know that. I have a card signed by him that I got off Star City, which is kind of cool. Sure. Well, I guess you can have that every turn. Until you don't want it anymore. Oh, well, no, here's what we wanted. Get out the way, Squee Goblin noob. So we have like a semi-counter spell and a cast down here. We should be fine unless they have 3 burn spells. There's one of them. No 2 burn spells, please. That doesn't do anything. Actually, that does do something because our cast down can't kill it. There's a Beaumont though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nope. Oh no, we have enough mana for everything. We have enough mana for it all. Yeah, I played it 1 league. It didn't work out great for me. It felt like it was really powerful, but like super draw dependent. So they need an Abrade to even survive now. And if they have the Abrade, we at least get to untap with a Syncopate. I did not like it. I mean, it was fine and all, but like, in honesty, like I got destroyed when I played the Derby list yesterday too. I think I went like 1-4, didn't come close to winning. Ship us a correct list turn, and we'll see about doing it later in the week. I know I definitely want to play like Blue-White Approach and another Snake League. But after that, I'm out of deck ideas. We'll play first. It's hands a keep. Have to hit some lands, but can't mulligan something that's got a 2 mana counter spell and a 2 mana removal spell, even if it is very, very, very heavy in casting cost. This is a 27 land deck, so we just have to hope for a couple over the next 2 or 3 leagues. Or sorry, 2 or 3 draw steps. Rip. It's a good deck. It's probably what I'm going to play at my store championships. Thinking about putting, I'm thinking about putting a 4 of these on the side based on how much I've been getting paired versus them. Alright, well, we're definitely counterspelling this, but I have my hand off my mic right now, cleaning my glasses, or sorry, off my, whatever. It's back on there now. Mouse. That's what the Ray was trying to say. It kind of sucks to counterspell that because now History of Dominaria is like super brutal, but since it's so hard to even block that other spell, I think we had to. We can cast down the first half of a history since our cast downs aren't great in the match. I feel like if you have 4 rivulets that like the Esper control decks physically can't beat you. But I could be insane. I think 4 rivulets is just that strong. How badly do I care about this Gear Hulk? I guess badly enough. I assume if he's got this card and this card, that there's a good chance that maybe he's just black-white approach. So, like, maybe I don't want to counterspell that. The rivulets are just so strong because you have the same amount of counterspells for the most part. Except, like, Torrential Gearhulk's not a threat in the match. Only pre-board. That's pre-boarded games. Obviously, you know, you can win anything post-board. I cast Knight of Malice on turn 2 versus my blue-white opponent the other day, and he was just like, alright, I'm taking 20 damage next game. And then I got to resolve a second one later with, like, negate backup. He's just like, okay, I'll take my 20 damage now. So they put on bottom. Oh, can't protect this one. I just don't see how pre-board. Pre-board, I don't see how. And if a pre-board game goes to its natural conclusion, I don't know how you have time to play post-board games. Hey, Loco Dope, what's up, my friend? Goodbye, Gearhulk. You will be missed. Bottom. I guess I'm going to go ahead and put this on top, even though there's a high likelihood that it does not survive the turn. But I don't really care if it doesn't survive the turn. That's what makes it a fine play to me. Yeah, history is good, but like they are fairly easy to counterspell. And the other knights are just like really, really good versus them. So I assumed that this Teferi is Hasta La Vista, or he's going to like cast an approach or something. Well, that's a little disappointing. That's actually going to be very hard to win now. Now we have to actually deal damage with just 4 Torrential Gearhulks while playing around things like Ixalan's Binding. So we're looking at going for a super late game now. It'll depend on what type of kill condition they have, how hard this game will be. I expected cast out, but not binding. So like I can't just slam Gearhulk here, because if I just slam Gearhulk here and they have a binding, the game's over. Wait, no, do we have a commit in this list? I forget. I think we do not have a commit in this list. Oh, we do have a Forsake the Worldly. Never mind. Okay, so the game's not over and I can just slam this. Whew. I forgot about that Forsake the Worldly for a second. I was playing blue-black mid-range before this, so just getting a little confused on the cards. That's fine. So they have cast down mana, but I don't care if this gets cast down, so... bottom top. Gonna save that because now I can't cast Glimmer and Disallow. But I'm probably not gonna want to do that anyway, so I guess it's okay. I did, Jeffrey, but it's past midnight here, so it's a new day. So we're going ahead and, while I'm awake and feeling froggy, doing day 20. Surprisingly, as many cards as our opponents drone from these treasure maps and stuff, they've scryed less and they've drawn less cards. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. I'm pretty excited about that. I tried his deck and I didn't have any success with his deck either. I'm starting to think that I just can't play anything that doesn't have a basic island in it somewhere. Like, basic islands are apparently what it takes for me to be competitive at Magic. And by competitive, I'm saying that in the loosest terms possible. So we can kill that with a removal spell. There's no reason for us to even consider letting it... Alright, okay, so you got two of them. I guess I would rather do this first. In case we hit two Fatal Pushes somehow. I think I'm just willing to keep both of those. Pretty much want to hit a land drop every turn for a million years, so... I think I win this race. Well, I probably don't win this race because they're attacking for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, but we're attacking for this, so sure. We're going to hit more removal spells, so I guess that's fine. So what they do, they put it on the bottom. Don't care that I'm taking 9 damage. It's kind of interesting that we've not hit Field of Runes yet. So we're up to 3 cards now. Guess I'm just going to go ahead and do this one now. I have no white instance other than Forsake the Worldly. Maybe I'm supposed to keep it then? Or maybe I'm supposed to leave a white untapped then? So we need this thing right now. Play mono black if I want to win. I am not a believer in that mono black deck. I do not think that mono black deck is good. I am such a non-believer. Going again. Like, I've not tried the Matthew Folks Jabberwocky build, type build. Hey, Chewbacca, thank you for the follow. But, like, in my experience with the deck, the 7 million colorless lands were awkward AF. They cost me lots of early games. And then, like, not having a consistent draw engine cost me a lot of games as well. Like, I just flooded out very bad in lots and lots of games. But, like, it was never good. It was, like, never good flooding out. Yeah, but the cards he specifically said were good on stream are the cards that cost me many matches. Like, I know him and Matthew have done well with it. It just did not work for me. And I never tried his list either. I tried the Tulio Jonde list. So, like, the Matthew Folks and the Jabber list may be better. But, like, I just having a bunch of, like, Field of Runes and Hostile Deserts and monuments and or memorials or whatever they're called. Like, all of those cards just, like, put me so far behind so often versus, like, the red decks that I wasn't able to compete. I actually think blue-black is just insane right now. And I think in the back of my mind, and I've said this since, like, a month before the RPTQ, in the back of my mind, I think blue-black mid-range is the best deck in the format, but no one's able to prove it, or proving it. Ginger's the only person that's had a lot of success with it, so when people ask me, I just keep saying mono-red, or, like, red-black. But, like, I'm pretty obsessed with the blue-black mid-range decks. Is he attacking or blocking? Let's find out. It's like the only deck that I just consistently win with despite what I get paired versus. Oh, he's blocking. But my blue-black deck makes no concessions to beat blue-white. I just scoop game one. Like, I'm just very happy conceding game one. But I've not played it much. Like I said, I've just been playing Ginger's build, so. Have we drawn more lands than spells this game? We hit 13 lands, so that is a no. I play no Gearhulk's main, no. There's no Gearhulks in my main deck. I think Gearhulk is bad versus red-black. I think it's bad versus every control deck. The only matches I wanted whatsoever are versus other mid-range decks and mono-red, and I don't think that's a big enough percentage of the field to have Gearhulk in my main deck. I have no idea how we won this game. Like, our opponent drew so many cards and just, like, died to a simple little Gearhulk. I was losing to mono-red the few times I played the mono-black deck. I was losing to red-black constantly versus it. Anyway, so I have no idea what our opponent's playing. It was like some kind of like black-white knight deck that has he showed us Knight of Malice, Knight of Grace, History of Banala, Treasure Maps, and Ixalan's Bindings, and Doomfalls in the main deck. Feels like this card has to be good versus that stuff. Actually, it's probably just not, but just having a first strike blocker for his first strike blockers feels fine to me. I kind of want the duress, but I don't know how many spells he's going to have towards the medium parts of the game. I don't even sideboard champion out versus mono red. Like, my champion has worked very well versus mono red for me. Hey Juka, what's up, man? I do need to try the black deck. The lands and not having a consistent draw engine is what turned me off the black deck. Like, it just flooded so often to me while having awkward games or awkward lands in the early part of the games. I kind of want to bring in the Scarab God here. I definitely think I want to take this out. I really don't know what he's playing, but I think I'm going to cut some of these contempts as well. 8:30 p.m. You are living the life. I really want this card too. Just always want this card. I think I like it more than it better. I think it's better than it is. I want to actually just try a couple of these. He like showed us a lot of spells. Maybe I don't want any of the Essence Scatters, but he did show us Lyras and stuff. This hand's not going to get kept. This hand's going to get snapped to the bottom random blue-white land. But I do need to try the Jabber / Matthew Blackish deck. Alright, well, they have probably their best 2-drop. We have probably our best 2-drop. It's a battle. They did not cycle this turn, so either A, they didn't have a land drop, or B, they've got something like History in their land, and by cycle I mean Scry. Or Doomfall. But I don't really care if they're playing like random 3-drop. Any History would have been great here, but I can't imagine another card they play on this turn other than History that I'm like super scared of. Maybe Bloodfast. Yeah, I could see myself being a little afraid of Bloodfast. Well, they took my Glimmer. Yeah, they've definitely changed since the beginning of the season. Karn. I guess I could have guessed they had Karn, but for some reason I just didn't think they did the way the game played. Long story short, this is going to be rough now. Well, you can have another land. To the graveyard. Oh, another land. I guess I should have guessed they had this card in their deck. I shouldn't have cut my contempts at all, I guess. They're going to take the duress, even though we have a disallow, so that means they're wanting us to resolve something here. Well, I'd rather don't take this than anything else that is takeable in this spot, so... Just another treasure map. Huh. They took a duress to resolve a treasure map? If I took that duress, I would have saved it until I wanted to actually resolve a spell. Huh. Kind of want to keep that. Because I think there's a good chance they like binding this or something this turn. Maybe they can tempt it, who knows, but if they do, we can get it back with Forsake. And if they don't, the Forsake's at least good enough versus Treasure Map that I think it's usable. Or keepable? Keepable, usable, somethingable. Abominable? Abominable Snowman? So they put on bottom, and they put on top. So whatever this card is, they want it. So they still have the Courtyard we gave them. It's just another Karn. And then Karn's the top card of their library as well. I guess I just give them more Karn then. I'd rather them have Karn than the binding. They tap those slow kind of like it's Walking Ballista. And if it's Walking Ballista, I'm in trouble. Like, Walking Ballista is the only card that punishes any of those decisions. Yeah, we're having problems this game. Karn's like running away with it here. Kind of weird that they did all that before they even looked at the Karn. Maybe they're going to minus the Karn finally. In anticipation of flipping this next turn and getting a big monster? I'm not sure. We get to flip this now though, so that's kind of sweet. We still have a fatal push for the first construct, but we're definitely in a hole. We're digging. They put on bottom. Might as well counterspell it then. So we know the last card in their hand's a Karn, right? Alright, well. This is what we call problems. In the neighborhood. Guess it's worth it to see if we find another fatal push. It's probably better than just taking the damage. This is worth seeing if we find a negate for. No negate, just a very medium card. Nope, definitely not looking good here. We're about to have 3 6/6s, and next turn they're going to get even bigger. It's probably dead at this point, but if we hit like running Gearhulks or something, maybe we would have been okay. That's what we needed last turn. That's no help this turn. So basically, if they get one artifact, we're just dead. I think it is in that particular situation because I think Gearhulks is our only out, so we needed the 6 land. Or we needed more land. You can have a plains. Cool, they're only attacking us for 10. It makes me feel like we have more outs than I thought. By the way, our Gearhulk's probably not great because of that, but... Yeah, well, our card wasn't doing anything, so I guess we don't have to care too much. Okay, now we can't win. Well, apparently I tapped one too many mana, but doesn't matter, we can't win anyway. Alright, well, we want our Contempts back. Think we want our Negate. Think we want our Contempts. I think we want a Duress, probably. We can probably get rid of the Essence Scatters. Still has Lyra, but we have things that can kill a Lyra. Yeah, I don't actually want this Scarab God. Scarab God's one of those cards that plays like really good from the top, but he is playing Doomfalls, so... there's not a whole lot of white sources in this deck. We only have 10, and we have no basic planes to even search for. So like we have to go through pretty good hurdles to get double white. I don't know what the other card I want to get rid of is. I think Duress is still good enough. I'm like looking at this Torrential Gearhulk and looking at this Teferi. Maybe even looking at the Knight. We probably only ever want to draw one Knight, so we'll go down to 2. Alright, we'll keep. This hand's good again. Very good again. I thought our last hand was good too, though, so what do I know? Alright, so you can get one of our counter spells. Or our Glimmer. Depending on your hand, I can see you taking any one of those 3 cards. I lean towards just saying Glimmer in all situations because it's Glimmer. Putting anything in the graveyard that's not a land. I don't care if it looks remotely good, it's still going there if it's not a land. I think I'd counterspell most things here. No, apparently I will not counterspell most things here. Again, anything that's not a land goes straight to the graveyard. Hey, it's got an instant speed spell? Okay. Goodbye, our friend. You'll be missed. I'm going to keep our land. Let's just hold up Disallow and Malice on a turn, especially if we Glimmer this turn. I think getting behind on lands is one of the quickest ways to lose this match anyway. Don't really think there's any reason to kill that. Our Knight of Malice just kind of whoops out in combat anyway. I don't want either of them at this point in the game. The Knight of Malice just kind of like beats up on the Gideon. Because hexproof from wide is sweet. Now we have disallow into Torrential Gearhulk disallow, or like Torrential Gearhulk Glimmer. Don't care about you. Only care about things that stop the current game plan. That is one of those things that stops the current game plan. It's not that good versus the Knight of Malice, but it is great versus the Gearhulks. So doing the nasty to the Gideon. Knight of Malices and the Knight of Graces are just so good. They need to make a red one, and like a green one, and a blue one. We need them all. Picked a negate here. Only is afraid I'll misclick in this situation. But like, you kind of can't unless you just skip the phase itself. Goodbye, Gideon, bro. Still going to be a fairly close game. It's going to all depend on what they have here. They have one card in hand, but they have this map that gives them an easy scry and probably enough turns to, or they probably have enough time to get to something. That's something. Wow, they picked Search over to Gearhulk here. That's impressive. Hmm. Kind of don't even want to do this, but I want to attack for 8 this turn, so... So next turn they get to scry 1 down, so they don't get to draw that angel till the following turn, so we get at least to crack for 8 once more. Well, I mean, in terms of that angel, get to crack for 8 once more. They could draw lots of things to disallow us doing that attack. That being one of them. If they tick it up, we get to make sure they don't get the angel unless they draw double angel. If they down tick it, we only get to attack with the Gearhulk. That kind of sucks. We'll have to make a decision on whether attacking Karn's good enough or not. Oh wow, so they get something great here no matter what. I guess they get this. It works out really well. But if we draw Forsake, we get this trigger back, which is nice. I assume they're going to target this to save this, but yes, to the graveyard you go. We'll draw. We'll uptick. This is about the best draw we could get. Huh. Kind of just want to attack his head here. Because we can forsake the binding and get our gear hook back. Oh, whoops. I messed up, but it doesn't really matter. There's nothing he can spend his mana on. That is a mistake, though. He's looking great for us this game, depending upon what he draws. Boom goes the dynamite. Actually messed up here. The correct play would have been to disallow the Karn trigger. That way this doesn't go to the graveyard. I just wasn't thinking about that. So that was actually a pretty good mistake. Something I'll remember in the future, though. It's definitely something I'll remember in the future. That would have been such a better play than what I did. I will not put that in the graveyard. Start with this. Actually, just gonna go ahead and kill this too. That way we only have to worry about one draw step. Because we can pretty easily beat the stuff we see. And I did that play again, but I'm just kind of like going into hyperdrive now because I feel like the game's over at this point. So now we know they have a Walking Ballista and an Angel. Cards that we don't care about. And guaranteed flip our search too if we want. It'll just save you the time, friend. Can't kill them all. Feel like I could have closed this game cleaner if I wanted. I think I'm still going to flip it too. Seems kind of irresponsible not to flip it when we have this. I don't think this game's losable now. I've not thought it's losable in a while, which is kind of like I've checked out. Thought we made good decisions earlier in the game, but... Oh, 18 in 10 days. Congratulations, man. Don't party too hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I guess he can still Angel, but I would rather have my Gear Hulk. Because we get the Gear Hulk back no matter what with the Teferi. Oh, maybe they didn't see this card, but I think we would have been in okay shape either way. Like, I don't think we could really lose there. We're at about an hour in and just 2 matches. I was hoping to get this league in under 2 hours. But you don't really want to. Man, it's a lot of money. You feel awkward? You ain't gotta feel awkward. But you shouldn't do something that you don't want to do. There's ain't no reason to feel awkward. Just buy tons of magic stuff. Tons of magic stuff is what I would be doing. Because I'm kind of a nut. Hey, no, what is up? I think I keep this hand, but I think this hand's pretty borderline. On the play, I think it's pretty easy. On the draw, it might be a mulligan, actually. I have something in my eye, too, and I just cannot deal with it. It's starting to tilt me beyond belief. I think we're just like sitting here screaming no mountain to the top of our lungs under our breath. Spoiler, it's a mountain. So this is 5 out of our 8 matches today that we've got paired versus mountain. I liked it pretty good. I played it at my Friday Night Magic too. Alright, so we're just gutted here. Gusted? I don't know what word I was trying to say. I think we're on very low percent now to even win this first game. Will the 5th mono red deck of the day be the one that beats us? Only time will tell. Whatever this is in my eye is driving me nuts. I cannot get it out. I'm going to counterspell that, because I don't want to take any damage. Any damage more than I have to, I mean. My eyes blinking quite on the rapid side here. I counterspell that too for the same reason. I just feel like I can't beat any spells right now. I think we're in okay-ish shape if we hit an untapped land. Ish. Not good shape. Ish. It's an untapped land. Now I want to draw land. I guess I'm killing this one. Hoping they don't use a removal spell it on themselves. Like shocking this is better than shocking me. Both ways it deals the exact same amount of 2 damage, but they have an Earthshaker in their graveyard in the 1 manner. That was not land. However, we might get to do a neat disallow play here. Take our 3, I guess. That sucks. we're going to go to 5, then we're going to go back to 7. Runner land might be enough depending on what's in their hand. Or, I mean, not what's in their hand, what's on the top of their deck, I mean. We did not hit the runner land, though, so. If they brick this turn, we'll be able to hide under the syncopate for a turn. They did not brick. But at least they picked about the slowest way to kill me they could. Or drew about the slowest way to kill me that they could. Alright, deck, you can do it. 1 untap land to give us the good chance. Yeah, well, I believe that that's not worth counterspelling, and I would rather just do this. Looking for untap lands here. You're an untap land. I guess they run Crasher, so I can't use the Gear Hulk yet. Feels like they've pressed F6. Yep, they pressed F6 and they're done. We won that game. Wow. Mind blown. Whew. Rough times. Anyway, so versus Mono Red, we typically bring these out. If we know that they're on Flame of Keld, I would bring these back. But since we do not know that they're Flame of Keld, we're just going to do the standard run. I did not expect us to win that game. It looked so bad for so long, but he missed on enough lands early and 3 Vraska's Contempts, and we just narrowly escaped. I think he looked a lot like the Aaron Burchett deck. I'm sure I'm pronouncing the name wrong. But he could easily just be any Flame of Keld or any just red deck, but the Lavamancer really makes me think he's closer to that. Alright, I'm going to mulligan this. On the draw, our first spell being on turn 4 is just too slow. I know we have a lot of like better things we can draw, but I just don't think it's worth it. This hand's better, but it's not good. I am willing to keep this one. Barrage. Okay, Barrage. Thank you. Beaumont Courier is going to be brutal. On a positive note, how we got him on the Beaumont Courier in Game 1 might make him make a poor decision. Game 2, Sunscorched Desert. Does that mean no Chain Whirler? Please no additional creature. No, not the best. Not the best. So the opponent has the best turn 1-2 that his deck can have. And that feels to me like when they have that exact 1-2 is generally the only times we really lose to these decks. And we have 4 Fatal Pushes, so like we don't even lose to these all the time. But like, I do think this is what kills us. It's very hard to beat that draw. Especially when we're on the draw. Again, I don't feel like we can take damage, so I'm willing just to pretty much counterspell anything that's counterspellable. Have to take a minimum of 4 more damage. And second Contempt gives us hope upon hope. I guess I could have waited, but I like pressing F6. So we take 4 here. We lose 2 more damage this way, but I think it's our best chance to actually win. These two Sun-Scourged Deserts putting us at 10's pretty brutal. And a Hazoret, that's very likely enough. Tuck. So we're going to 2 here. Depending on what's in his hand, we might have got to continue playing Magic if it wasn't for the deserts. Really don't feel like you can play deserts and Chain Whirler though, and I don't feel like you can not play Chain Whirler. There's just no way we're getting out of this turn, is there? Looking for like cast downs only? It's a cast down. Now they're drawing 3 cards. I guess all 3 could be mountains or something, but they had to hit like 4 lands in a row or something insane here. I guess not 4 in a row. We could just like draw a Gearhulk and have a Contempt. And that would theoretically be good enough. Depending upon their hand. You could be right. Where are you at, Vraska's Contempt? Well, we die to 100% of burn spells. Again, this was a bad play. I didn't play around them drawing another Crasher this way. This was just stupid of me. Absolutely ridiculously bad of me. Again, not punished. Not being punished is our favorite. Another Gearhulk, and we're really in this game, though. Which is nice. You could be right, Tarkies, or Tarkies. But gosh, the Teferis are so good. Interesting. I'm not going to play that land. I'm going to at least bluff a Gearhulk. They've drawn so bad this game. And that's game. We can't win now. Well, it's not true. Guess if I kill this, I take 3. Either way, I die unless I draw exactly a Contempt. So, oh, I guess I kill this one. Yeah, it's just better to kill that one. So I need a Contempt to stay alive. That's not a Contempt. So they are on Flame of Keld. Since we know if they're on Flame of Keld, do we bring these back in? Guess they cycled, and Flame of Keld is a pretty powerful spell. Forsake the World leaves a really nice card in this format as well. This hand's good enough to keep. I also have to play the Fetid Pools in this game, I think. Rid of Teferi, but Teferi gets rid of some of their best threats. Like, we're weak to Hazards and Chandras and things of, and Flame of Keld and like Tezzeret's like one of our better ways to beat all of those cards, while giving us a large amount of card advantage at the same time. I actually like Tezzeret in these matches. So I guess opponent's having a rough decision mulligan-wise. My printer won't come on. Weird. Maybe I accidentally unplugged it. Let's hope, because I need my printer. This is something I would like to figure out now, but may not be able to until the stream's over. Apologize if you guys hear a lot of weird noises right now. Don't know. Really hope my printer's not broke. Not particularly excited for it. Beaumont all 3 games on 1. I am tilted about this printer situation. I don't think I would even want it. I guess any creature is good enough to counterspell versus that list. It's only bad if they have 3 1-drops. They had 3 1-drops. What on God's earth were they tanking about then? It's fine though. Though, it's fine. They have all of their mana tapped. We're definitely going to contempt the Beaumont. We have an Hour of Glory for the Hazoret. Will only be bad, of course, if they have exactly Chandra, but letting them draw 3 cards or 4 cards is just too good. Now it's not even that bad if they have Chandra. Doing pretty good today, Bogart, except apparently my printer just broke. It was just kind of awkward and weird. That's a good one here. It could be. We're going down to 11. Kind of just want to exile that more than I want to play the Teferi. Or have access to exiling a Hazard if that's what they happen to have. Well, I'm willing to kill whatever it is then. Just not to take damage here. Even if they have a removal spell to stop this from getting exiled, they have to have a land plus draw a land to get the back end of it back. I think that's what they're deciding. It's actually not bad for me if they go for it. Tezzeret gonna draw us a card. Could also tuck a hazard if they like played one post combat, which I can't imagine that they would. Could play a Chandra post combat. I guess I would tuck that too. Oh, so they chose to do it to my face. Guess I'm gonna hold the contempt then. So we're like losing some value on the Teferi, but we're trying to keep our life as high as possible. See if we use a spell. They chose not to. Go back to 8. Up she goes. Alright, so we basically just have to dodge Hazoret for a turn and we're in pretty good shape. Looks like we did it. I mean, we ain't won the game, but we dodged a spell. That Scavenging Grounds could actually be good for them. Sure. They can't use an Abrade plus this, and I just want to get this on the table to start ending the game, so I assume they're going to use the Scavenging Grounds, and I'm just going to block. Pizza roll hype. Pretty big fan of the pizza roll. Guess we'll keep that in case I draw Flame of the Keld. We're like in no danger right now anyway. We just have to survive 5 turns. They'd have to draw like running Hazarets, and I don't even know if that would be enough based on our current hand. I actually don't know what they could draw based on our current hand. I guess 3 burn spells might be enough. And even if they drew 3 burn spells, we could like contempt their Gearhulk and continue to play. Thought about saving the Glimmer just to kill some of their lands, but I don't think we need to. I think we're just going to win with the I think we're just going to win with the Gearhulk pretty easy. Unless they have an Abrade or something, but... So whatever they play this turn that's not an Abrade, we just Contempt and or Bounce, whichever one makes more sense, and then we get our free win. Alright, well, 5-0 versus the red decks tonight. Two more matches to go. We've acquired at least a pity chest. Feels good, man. This printer situation does not feel good. I think we'll probably try blue-white approach tomorrow, or we might try snakes one time, but I'm leaning towards approach. Oh, I'm missing KT versus AFS. Boo, missing good League of Legends matches. That's my plans. One of those two decks, I'm not exactly sure, and like things are tentative to change depending on how much work I have to do. I think this hand's good enough to keep. We have 2 removal spells versus the aggressive decks or the snake decks. We have a lot of lands versus control decks. I think either of those ends up being probably a profitable keep for us overall. 4 Beaumont Couriers in a row, and 6 out of 9 rounds I've been paired versus mono red. This could be red black, but you love to watch it while I put people to sleep, yo. I'm willing to take this point of damage just to see if I can like stop a Carry Zev. Blue-white, I think is probably what you're meaning, but it's a good deck. It's a fun deck. Rip. Yeah, so everybody's playing like this Aaron Barrett build. I'm just not a fan. This is our worst draw tonight, and like I feel like we have a reasonable chance of winning here. We didn't have the opportunity to do either of those things. All 4 of our land came into play. Oh no, wow, I'm an idiot. This would have come into play untapped. I'm a moron. I'm a moron. I thought this came into play tapped. That's a pretty big play error by me. Pretty sure this game would have been a free game had I left that up. And now it's probably going to be an incredibly hard game to win. All because of a pretty bad punt. So we've taken 4 damage we probably wouldn't have to have taken otherwise. So we could still be at 14 potentially. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. Probably should have played a tapped land there. in case we drew a Torrential Gearhook next turn, but I wanted to put ourselves in a spot to where we could counterspell something and cycle for a push. I did not see that list, but that feels like something I'd want to try to. Alright, so this doesn't have haste yet. Alright, so he just doesn't have a spell then. Or he would have sent this one too. Rip. Hmm. They have to brick pretty hard here. But we know the card in their hands very likely terrible or like a creature they can't cast. Because I feel like they would have played any spell and or any creature that last turn. So we may only have to dodge one draw step and then we could like get back into the game. But we'd have 4 points higher and I think we would have won this game. Had we not punted. That probably kills us no matter what. Well, I guess we can tuck it no matter what. Torrential Gearhook, you say? Right, well, we're definitely going to tuck this. Lots of things are good versus this right now. I think we would have won this game had I not punted earlier. I have no idea where he's attacking. It won't tell me where he's attacking. I assumed it was on me, but it was. I still want to know, right? Do we need double disallow? I just wanted to get the game over with. That's fair. It does give us the option to double tuck later, but we're trying to win the game in 3 turns, so I'm not sure if double disallow, or I'm not sure if double tuck's going to be relevant. So he did have the hazard this entire time. They conceded to me killing the Lavamancer when I'm at 5 life and the hazard it could technically kill me. Don't you? You should at least make me show you the counterspell, right? That seems like a I'm mad scoop. I would be mad if I lost that game too. That is a weird time to scoop. Wow, I've never saw anybody in pure white text. That rocks. I'm not going to tell him I didn't have it. So we want these cast downs here. We want this hour, and I've been taking out the searches and the forsakes. If we know they're on Flame of Keld, we'll bring the forsakes in, but we do not know that they're on Flame of Keld. If he was ghosting, he wouldn't even have played the turn, would he? Pretty sure if he's ghosting, he doesn't even play the turn. Yeah, the turn 2 land was really, really bad, and like in my mind I had the right land, but I was just too dumb to realize Drowned Catacomb coming to play tapped. So that was like derp derp. But like it should have cost me the game. It cost me 4 points of damage. It should have been very relevant down that stretch. Like there was multiple turns there that just a land would have won him the game because of that. Can't believe we played versus 6 mono red decks in 9 rounds. Not even red black decks, just like literal mono red decks. I think 5 of them have been these Lava Master decks too. Hey, Duretti. Thank you so much for the resub. Highly appreciate it. Cannot keep this hand. It is way too slow. I'm tempted to keep this hand. I'm actually tempted to keep this hand. I don't think I'm going to, though. Alright, this is the best hand we've had. Put it on bottom even though I have to have lands to win with this hand. That is 5 Beaumont Couriers played on turn 1 in a row. The last 5 games. Triple 1-drop. Again. Those are hard to beat. Go ahead and kill it now, just in case his hand's like super bad and he's willing to throw it away for 2 cards. Had an opponent do that earlier. Could end up taking more damage this way, but realistically speaking, unless his hand's weak, we're going to be too far behind to come back from this anyway. Maybe we'll draw untapped land in like 3 contempts in a row. There's always a chance, right? Could scoop to that. I don't think we actually even have outs now. But I won't. Alright, I can scoop to that though. I really kind of want Knight of Malice here. Really just want to try Knight of Malice. It's something I've been wanting to try. I don't know if it's actually good. I assume it's actually bad. But it's just something I've wanted to try. It's the first time we've tried it tonight. Could have a disallowed than the double glimmer. Matt likes them pretty good, is why I want to give them a try, but I've not had much success with them. Just can't keep these super expensive hands. Alright, I'll keep this, and maybe we'll get there, but like the hand's got all the cards we need to win. Well, all the cards we need to not die. We obviously need more than this to win. We get a scry and a draw step, though, so... We are 5-0 versus Mono Red tonight, so mulliganing into Oblivion and losing a round versus it. I mean, you can't be too upset to win 5 out of 6 versus Red. Highly appreciate the sub though, Duretti. Alright, we'll keep. they also mulliganed. I assume they tend to just get burnt, but even if in the games where they're getting burnt, at least they're not burning me. In the games they're not getting burnt, maybe they're blocking. Like if he has a medium draw. So what I'm assuming, I don't think we've not saw a chain whirler in 2 games. Alright, well I have to keep that even though it doesn't really do what I want it to do. But we have to keep every land we can get. They don't have a 1-drop. That's interesting. Is this going to be a shock to our face? It is not. Untap lands. Come on. Come on. That's not an untap land. I guess we're going to pass. I'd rather Essence, Scatter, and or Cast Down than cast of Knight of Malice here. Because the Knight of Malice may not do anything ever. Oh, I guess they do have those. First one we've saw in 3 games. We've not saw very many of them tonight in these decks. Nice. One more land and we have a chance. That is a land. You can do it, Knight of Malice. You just have to survive 10 little turns. We need a lot of help this game. A land and a Teferi or like just a Glimmer would be my ideal draws. So Teferi's the card I want to draw more than anything in the deck now. I guess you resolve. Thought about holding this a case. I thought about scattering and holding to contempt just in case they had a Earthshaker Kenra or like a Chandra, but I kind of wanted the contempt in our graveyard in case we hit a Gearhulk. Alright, it's a wet noodle fight. I think we're favored in a wet noodle fight, though. Because a lot of our cards just end the game, and a lot of their cards deal like 2 or 3 damage. Can't have that. That's just a redraw. Alright, Teferi and or Gearhulk. Thank you. I mean, he drew 6 lands and 5 spells. He mulliganed to 5. Keep that in mind. Like, before we insult the deck, like, they flooded out after a mulligan to 5. I'm not going to go ahead and use the Gearhulk here. I'm going to wait until I get at least some value out of it. Because as long as you're drawing lands, it's just fine by me. But I don't want to play this and then, like, untap and play, like, an Earthshaker or something. Alright. Well, I'm fine with this. I think you're so bad. Alright, well, opponent scooping. I think he's scooping this game a little early too, but that's fine. Alright, well, we're 6-0 versus Mono Red tonight, though I don't think we should have won this game. Well, I mean, obviously we were a favorite to win that game. I don't think I should have won game 1. Okay. Well. Mono Red decks are tough. They're very, very tough. I don't really want to play a Brooch if I'm going to play 3 Mono Red decks a league. Or I might have to go back to the old school 4 approach, or sorry, 4 authorities and like a bunch of Regal Caracals and Lyras or some just like crazy wildness. Hello, Cool Trip. And Pink. S Epsilon? Epsilon. And Tuna. Hello, all. Demir. And friends. We're up to 39 viewers. People are like, enough is enough with the cube. It's almost past 4 a.m. here. We're all missing the LCK. We should feel ashamed of ourselves. This is the Brad Nelson build. It's based off of the Maddington build, so like it's like similar to the Folks build. The main deck's pretty darn similar. I don't think it's Finn, but this is the Nelson 75, and we've been using the Nelson sideboard guide tonight. Not the sideboarding versus mono red takes a particular large amount of energy. I've not been playing cutting because I hurt my arm, but like I still follow it. I'm pretty obsessed with it. It's my favorite video game. Alright, we have to keep this on the play. You're going to flood. Fair enough. But nah, I love League. I'm not super good at it, but I love it. I plan on getting back into it soon. I think my arm's about healed enough. Potentially a red-black deck. I assumed a red-black match is kind of difficult. It's one of the reasons that I keep telling people not to play Gearhulks in the blue-white build of the deck, but this has more spot removal, so maybe it's not that bad. I think last season I was 2 games away from getting Plat 5 before I only gave myself 2 weeks to do my promos and grind up. I think I got like Gold 4 and then grinded the Plat 1 in Gold 1 in both what am I trying to say? In both Flex and Solo. But I never could get over the hurdle. Juka, I just have bad carpal tunnel and it's been acting up pretty bad lately. No, nothing special, nothing particular. Something I should just tough through, but where I've also been selling a lot of magic cards and like sorting them a lot of magic cards. I don't like doing extra things that aggravate it in that when I'm already in pain. So I cut back on most of my gaming. But I'm going to get back into it pretty soon as my back heals. Because I think my arm's ready now. Not that anybody wants to hear me whine about things, so I'm not really whining. I was asked, but yeah. I mostly play support. Kind of like a one-trick pony Zyra support. But like when you when you solo queue, or like you don't queue up with a friends, ADCs get mad that you just deal more damage to them and then they take temper tantrums. It's pretty fun. There is some value out of this, I think. Land? Nice, there's a land. Especially when our hands are drawing, or our opponents are drawing fairly medium. Don't want to cast this Gearhulk until I can actually counterspell something. Yeah, it was crazy. They've been doing like a lot of Vladimir ADC. Well, they're playing, not ADC, but like Vladimir in the ADC spot. They're still AP and everything, but been doing a lot of that in Korea. They've been doing a lot of like Braum mid, and then they'll get like a carry jungler like Talia or like Graves or Nocturne or whatever, and they'll feed their farm. Like, they'll give up mid-farm and the jungle farm to make that person get big, and then they have, like, an extra team fighting support. It's pretty insane. Like, they just power level those guys. I think I have to counterspell this, even though I really don't want to, but... Like, this game's kind of getting a little... Oh, sorry, we're just talking a little Legend League. League of Legends. Wouldn't mind to hit a Teferi. We'll accept that. We can still lose this game very, very easily, though, and I think I have to keep attacking because I can't give them infinite turns to draw, like, Hazarets or Phoenixes or whatever that they may have. Alright, well, that probably beats me as well, unless I, like, re-top deck back on them. Well, maybe it doesn't. I expected them to tick it up and they didn't. Alright, we're going to take 2 damage to kill the Chandra. I think it's worth it overall. It's kind of a weird spot because, like, just attacking them would win next turn, but, like, there's too many top decks that they can draw. They can just minus on the Torrential Gearhulk and make it 1 power, so... When they can just minus on the Torrential Gearhulk and make it 1 power, then I don't think I can just, like, go to the face. Yes, I know I put a removal spell in our graveyard, but... I guess I should attack before we do anything to see if we deal damage, because it may affect what we want to get off of an Azcanta. We'll take the disallow. Yeah, it's crazy this season. And some of the teams are just like saying, like, you were wrong, you know? Like, Samsung Galaxy, I think their new name's like Generation G or something like that. Like, they are still just playing ADC support. They're like breaking out like Ash Jaina's and stuff like that still. And just like trying to beat up on people that aren't as experienced. Anyway, so we are on the draw versus another red-based match, which means the Search for Azcantas are going out. What do we want? I guess we want the cast downs. They have Glory Bringers and Phoenixes and early enough draws, which means we also want this exile effect. We need to forsake the worldly because of Scrap Heap Scrounger, sometimes Walking Ballista, but mostly Scrap Heap Scrounger, Heart of Kirin, and like occasionally there'll be a spot where you want to like worldly a Sorcerous Spyglass to like unlock a Teferi or an Azcanta, but not often. Guess we'll get rid of one of the Syncopates. It's kind of medium. This allows her kind of medium in this match too. Yeah, I think opponent should have minus Chandra there. Like when he cast a Chandra, I said, well, we probably lose, but he just didn't minus it. And if he wasn't going to minus it, I think he should have left both Soskar mages to make sure it didn't die to an attack. But he chose to do neither of those lines. Yeah, it's really hard to get back into the loop. They've changed all the runes and masteries and stuff too at the end of last season, so like, I don't know if that affected anything. I used to Cyborg God in here, Pink, but I'm using the Brad Nelson Cyborg Guide from his Star City Premium article, and for some reason he doesn't like them. I'm not actually sure why, but since we're trying his list, I figure we'll try how he cyborged. It's just about trying what Brad said, because Brad's, you know, the best standard player in the world. I don't know if it's right. Like, I'm not saying it's right or anything. I'm just saying, you know, it's bad. The one thing about solo queue though is like in solo queue it appears that they're still just doing the standard lanes. Like you don't see too much of that weird stuff in solo queue. Alright, that can resolve because Essence Scatter is better for Hazard or whatever. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. I think I'm going to play this one still to like at least bluff Disallow. Because if I don't leave up 3 mana, there's a chance he just jams Chandra, and just jamming Chandra's probably one of the quickest way we lose this here. We'd rather him play something like Rekindling Phoenix. Or Hazoret, for example. Alright, I'm definitely going to probably be cycling some things this turn. To see what he has. He's down to 3 cards, and we do have 1 Gearhook, which is nice. We have no negates in our deck, but he doesn't need to know that, so we'll cycle and pretend like we're looking for a negate. They're adding mana. That's a bad sign. Yep, that's a bad sign. Right, well, we're going to keep the fetid pools. JK, apparently we shouldn't have kept the fetid pools. Alright, well, we need to draw something now. To see what he plays here. Exile the top card to hit another Chandra. I guess we're just going to deal the 2 to us. And an Angraf. That is problematic. Alright, it's time to hit a Disallow or a Syncopate. That was not a Disallow or a Syncopate. I don't think we'll beat this without drawing like a Contempt. If we draw like Fatal Push Contempt, we're probably still a big favorite, but other than that, it's going to be hard. Like Fatal Push here would be good, then just untap, get a Contempt, make them feel terrible. I have other lines, like if they just draw like real medium, like just double Gearhook might be enough, but the fact that our Gearhooks can't kill this is the problem. Well, that's a problem as well, but we can take 8 damage if we play the one thing now. I just don't think we're going to beat either of these things. Seems like it's all just too much. Alright, well, we have to take this damage. We can still draw a Contempt and it be enough. Probably should have discarded the Essence Scatter here. A million things just kill us. So we're just dead, right? I guess we're just dead. Maybe we can hit a Disallow. Find some way out of this. That's unfortunate. Well, if they have little or nothing, we get to continue to play. Take at minimum 4 damage this turn, though. 7 if they choose to uptick the Angraph. Beaumont Courier is 1 less damage. So Lightning Strike still kills us. Okay, so I think we have to kill the Angraph because the Angraph can kill us, and he's going to get the value out of the Chandra to minimum put us at 1. Duress. Duress does nothing versus our hand. So at least that's good. Says they have 1 unknown in their hand. And we can counterspell anything this turn, or we can just cast Glimmer. We're just going to cast the Glimmer, by the way. It's not a burn spell, or we would have already died, I think. So willing to keep a counterspell here. Feel like the Unknown's just another Chandra or something. I like having an insurance in my life total. Well, whatever their 1 is, has to be pretty darn good now since we have a disallow as well. It just has to be another Chandra then, right? The ranch is pretty good, Loco Dope. Rest in peace, Rooster. Alright, well, nice little 5-0. So we're 9-1 on the night. We beat 7 different red decks, which is pretty nice. It's our first 5-0 of the season, actually. We've not been doing well this season. But we've not been playing our control deck, which is, as anybody who watches me very much knows, is my bread and butter is just playing control decks. For some reason, I never do well with aggro decks. It's got to be like a mid-range deck or a control deck to like really get under my feet. Well, I mean, we play every day and we have 1. It kind of feels like it's not a big deal. But it is nice to go 9-1 in a day. Anyway, my mother has woken up and I need to talk to her, so we're going to hop off here and we're going to be done for the evening. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Thank you, Doretti, for the sub. Thank you for all of the new follows. Keep in mind, we are streaming 365 days in a row. This was 19 left after today to reach our goal. In the links below the stream, if you're interested, you can find my YouTube channel where you'll find all of our past streams, all of our past broadcasts, and my Twitter channel where you'll see every time we go live, all the deck lists we play, and it's just my personal Twitter account, so you'll see my opinions on various things and things like that if you care. If you're watching from the YouTube, keep in mind that there's links in the description for every deck list, and back to the Twitter. I think it's kind of like medium tuna. Like, it's one of your harder, there's some of your harder matches, but they are winnable. I think I agree with you, Pink. I think that the black removal spells make it enough better than blue-white approach versus the red decks that Esper's a little bit better. I do want to try the Jeremy Dazani black list at some point. Anyway, so we're going to hop off here. Thank you guys so much. Go watch Sparrow. I think he's playing blue-black mid-range that we played earlier. It's a heck of a good deck. He's a heck of a good personality. Give him a follow and tell him we all said hi. Anyway, take care, everybody, and thank you so much for stopping by.